God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved son, stop now. Pause everything. Silence the external voices and the internal ones as well. Take a deep breath, because this moment is not ordinary. I brought you here with intention, care, and eternal purpose. Before any word was formed in your restless mind, I had already set apart this sacred moment to reach you in the deepest place of your being. Be still, and know that I am God." Psalm 46 verse 10. This breath that goes in and out of your chest is neither automatic nor accidental. It is sustained by my faithful hand, day and night. Do you feel that you are ready for a deep change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes, all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and the blessings that God has already reserved for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and reflects on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click on the first comment. There, you will find a simple practice, lovingly guided, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. While the world runs in haste, pressuring, demanding, and confusing you, I call you into my presence, because it is there that your soul realigns, your faith awakens, and your identity is strengthened. Here, far from the noise, I treat wounds no one sees, organize thoughts that weary you, and renew strength that seemed exhausted. Do not be afraid to stop, because stopping with me is not regression, it is direction. It is in this silence that I speak, guide, comfort, and prepare your next steps. Remain, listen, and trust. What begins within you will soon manifest outwardly. Comment, I stop now to hear the voice of God. I see the place where you are. I see this house that holds silent tears, unresolved memories, prayers whispered so no one would hear, and thoughts you never had the courage to speak out loud. I see the corners where you sat feeling that time had stopped, that dreams were trapped in the past, and that hope seemed too distant to reach. But it is precisely there, in that setting where everything seems still, that I choose to act with power and mercy. Not because pain attracts me, but because love moves me toward you. Where you see stagnation, I see fertile ground for deep restoration. Where you see silence, I am preparing an answer that will echo beyond the walls, reaching areas of your life you had already given up on. Nothing you have lived was invisible to me. Every tear had meaning, every weight had purpose. I am turning this place into testimony, this environment into an altar, and this season into the beginning of something new. Comment, God sees what no one else sees in me. Do not treat this moment as something common, because it is not. It was not chance that brought you here, nor curiosity, nor simple habit. A man's steps are established by the Lord, Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9, and yours are being guided by me right now. I interrupted your routine because spiritual keys are being delivered at this very moment. There are answers that do not come in the noise, only in stillness, when the heart quiets and the soul learns to listen. There are decisions that are not born from haste, but from spiritual sensitivity developed in my presence. This is not just a text, not just a video, not just a moment of reflection. It is an appointment set in heaven. It is a call that awakens what was dormant within you. Something begins to move because my spirit touches where no one else can reach, bringing clarity, direction, and peace. Do not harden your heart. Do not distract your mind. Remain. Comment, I recognize this moment as a call from God. There is a spiritual summons happening now, my son, and you are part of it. While you read these words, I work behind the scenes. While you feel this tightness or this hope rising, I heal old wounds. While you hesitate, I confirm promises that were never canceled. I set this second apart to remind you that I have not forgotten you at any moment. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Isaiah chapter 65 verse 24. Do not underestimate small gestures made in faith, for they carry great spiritual weight. An open heart moves heavens that seemed closed. An internal decision unlocks external processes that were blocked for years. Heaven does not respond to desperation, it responds to quiet trust that rests in me. Keep trusting, even without seeing everything yet. I am aligning times, people, and answers. What you call waiting, I call preparation. Comment, my faith moves, and heaven responds. Perhaps this word is not only for you, but for someone I will reach through your quiet obedience. Perhaps I am using your willingness to listen to touch a heart that no longer has strength or words to pray. I use human bridges to deliver divine comfort, and when you share, you become a living instrument of my care. Nothing is stuck by chance, nothing is delayed without purpose. There are pauses that are protection, interrupted paths that are deliverance, and silences that are deep preparation. What you call delay, I call care. When faith awakens within you, even if still trembling, the invisible begins to act in the visible. Spiritual movements precede natural changes. Doors that seemed sealed begin to give way, burdens you carried for years fall without effort, old cycles close with peace. You are not alone, you never were, not even on the days you thought I was silent. I was working behind the scenes, aligning details, healing wounds you did not even know how to name. Today something supernatural touches your story, something that does not come from human effort, but from my grace. Believe, because I am already acting now. Declare with faith, I believe that God is acting now. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. I know your wounds, my son. I know the marks you hide even from yourself, the places you learn to lock away so the pain would not reach you anymore. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. You learn to numb your heart because feelings seem too dangerous, but I did not create you to live anesthetized. You were never meant to survive by shutting down your emotions. They made you believe that loving always leads to suffering, That family is synonymous with conflict. That covenant is a burden too heavy to carry. Those were lies spoken over a wounded heart. I formed you to love and to be loved, to build peace, not to endure chaos as if it were normal. You were designed for wholeness, not constant defense. This season of emotional survival ends now. I am touching places you thought were unreachable. I am softening what became hard, awakening what went silent. You do not need to protect yourself from me. Let me heal you completely. Receive what flows from my hands without fear. Comment, I receive the healing that comes from God. You were not born to live in constant inner warfare. You were not created to carry traumas that carry the names of other people. Your identity is not written in your scars, it is written in my word over you. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. Roots of rejection, abandonment, and contempt do not define who you are. Those roots were planted in pain, but I am uprooting them with truth. I am preparing your heart for a new season where love does not threaten you and peace no longer feels unfamiliar. What wounded you does not own you. What marked you does not rule you. Your past does not have authority over your future. I am restoring the image that was distorted by hurt. I am reminding you of who you have always been in me. Stand firm in this truth. You belong to me, not to your trauma. Let my voice be louder than your memories. Comment, my identity is in what God says about me. Even when you were broken, I saw your heart still beating with hope. I saw the tears you swallowed so you would not burden anyone. I saw the nights you smiled on the outside while fighting storms on the inside. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34 verse 18. I was there when you loved without being loved back, when you gave everything and received silence in return. Yet you kept going. That quiet perseverance did not go unnoticed. I collected every tear you cried in secret. I recorded every prayer you whispered when words were hard to form. I did not waste a single moment of your pain. I turned it into seed. What hurt you is becoming the soil for what will heal you. What you endured is shaping compassion, wisdom, and strength within you. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are brave for surviving tenderly. I am honoring your endurance. I am breathing life into what felt barren. Comment, God saw everything I lived through. You tried to fix yourself alone, and I know why. You relied on strength, logic, pride, and rehearsed phrases to keep going. But beneath all of that, there was a hidden cry inside you. And I heard it. I did not call you to be strong by yourself. I called you to trust me. Now I am stepping into places you could never reach. I am healing what you do not fully understand. I am restoring what you believed was permanently lost. You are not required to have all the answers. You are invited to rest. This is the beginning of a new chapter, written not by pain, but by redemption. What was fragmented is being aligned. What was heavy is becoming light. You do not have to fight for what I have already secured. Lay down your defenses. Let me do what only I can do. Comment, I rest in God's restoration. And finally, my son, receive this truth deeply. You did not arrive late, you did not waste your time, and you did not fail beyond repair. Behold, I make all things new. Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. A new season is opening before you. Love will be restored, faith will be strengthened, and hope will bloom again where you thought nothing could grow. Walk with me. Trust me. What I have prepared for you is greater than what you endured. This story that once seemed defined by pain will be known for victory. You are not starting over empty-handed. You are starting again with wisdom, healing, and grace. I am with you in every step. What comes next carries my signature. Comment: I trust what God is doing in my life. Beloved child, pause where you are and let your soul be still for a moment. I know the cry you never voiced out loud, the one that rose from deep places when you thought no one was listening. It reached me. I am not distant from your breaking points, I am present in them. I am the one who formed you with intention, and I have never lost sight of what I placed inside you. I am the potter, and you are not beyond reshaping. I do not rebuild by erasing, nor do I heal by denying what you lived. Every mark in your story is known to me, and none of them disqualify you. I know how to touch the cracks without shattering the vessel. I know how to restore strength without making you hard. Even now, I am working in the unseen places, soothing memories that still feel too alive, lifting weights you have carried longer than you were meant to. What once felt permanent will lose its grip. What once defined your pain will no longer define your future. You are not trapped in what was. You are being guided into what will be. There are memories that still echo in you as if time never passed. Certain words still press against your chest, certain looks still sting, certain absences still ache. You learned how to survive by carrying them quietly, by convincing yourself that this was simply how life would feel. But I am loosening the hold of those moments. I am teaching your heart how to remember without bleeding. The wounds that once reopened with every thought are closing. You will notice that what used to overwhelm you now passes through without ruling you. This is not forgetfulness, this is freedom. I am restoring not only you, but what surrounds you. Where relationships fractured, I am moving. Where distance grew, I am intervening. What seemed irreversible will be touched by my hand. It will not be a forced return or a shallow apology. It will be a rebuilding from the foundation, a quiet but profound change that makes room for trust, warmth, and truth again. I know how deeply you longed for reconciliation even when you stopped asking for it. You told yourself you had accepted things as they were, but your heart still hoped in silence. I am placing before you what you once thought would never come. This will not be a simple reunion, it will be a reconstruction. I am not merely bringing people closer, I am healing what broke between them. I am restoring love where fear lived, trust where suspicion grew, and joy where heaviness settled. The atmosphere of your home will change. What felt like a battleground will become a place of rest. Conversations will soften. Laughter will return without effort. You will notice the lightness at the table, the peace in ordinary moments, and you will realize that something holy has been rebuilt where despair once stood. This is my work, and it is thorough. You may believe that time has passed you by, that certain beginnings belong to others, not to you. But listen carefully, I am not limited by calendars or age. I am the Lord of time itself. Nothing about your life is laid in my hands. I have already aligned what needs to meet you. I have already prepared hearts, paths, and moments you cannot yet see. You are not starting over alone, I am walking ahead of you. You were never meant to finish your days in isolation. I know the loneliness you hide, the kind that surfaces in quiet evenings, in celebrations that feel empty, in moments when silence grows heavy. That season is ending. I am breathing new life into your days. I am bringing an affection that reflects my care, an honoring love, a patient presence, a connection that builds rather than drains. This is not randomness, this is design. I am teaching you that you do not need to chase what I am sending. You will not have to beg to be chosen or strain to be seen. What I prepare comes without confusion. I heal before I join. I restore before I entrust. That is why this time has felt slower, quieter, even ordinary. It is not delay, it is preparation. I do not place commitment upon a wounded heart. I mend first. I strengthen first. And as this healing settles, you will feel yourself becoming lighter, more open, less guarded. You will realize that fear no longer speaks as loudly. Trust will return gently, without pressure. When connection comes, it will feel safe, not overwhelming. It will meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. This is how you will know it is from me. What is unfolding now may not look dramatic from the outside, but it is significant beyond measure. There will be restoration. There will be union. There will be healing of the soul. Relief will wash over you in ways words cannot fully explain. Tears will fall, not from sorrow, but from release. Forgiveness will arrive naturally, without force. Hope will rise again, quiet but steady. And when these things happen, you will recognize their source. You will know this is not coincidence or emotion alone. This is transformation. This is my hand at work in your life. I am not merely promising change, I am creating it. Even now, I am visiting places within you that you sealed long ago. I am opening doors you closed to survive, and where abandonment once lingered, I am filling the air with my presence. Breathe deeply and receive what I am doing. You do not need perfect words or great strength. A willing heart is enough. As you receive, something shifts. Your soul exhales. Barriers begin to fall. You will start to notice small signs, a sudden emotion during an ordinary conversation, a tenderness that surprises you, a warmth you thought was gone. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. I am restoring your ability to feel without fear, to hope without shame, to love without losing yourself. You asked not for perfection, but for peace, sincerity, and mutual care. I have heard you. I am answering you. And what is being rebuilt now will stand stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than what was before. You once longed for someone to see you the way you see others, to treat you with the same depth, care, and sincerity you naturally offer. You hoped someone would stay not only when things were light and easy, but also in the days when shadows stretched long and silence felt heavy. You never said it out loud, but the desire lived in you, pulsing quietly, shaping your prayers and your pauses. There were moments when you swallowed your tears, when your chest tightened and you looked away so no one would notice the fracture beneath your calm. In those moments, you thought no one noticed, that your restraint went unseen. But nothing in you was invisible. Every quiet ache, every unspoken hope, every time you chose dignity over despair was witnessed. What you felt was not weakness, it was the mark of a heart that still believed in something better, even after disappointment tried to convince you otherwise. And that belief, fragile as it sometimes seemed, has been preserved with care, protected from being extinguished, because it is essential to what is being formed in you now. This season is not meant to repeat itself. What you have known as emotional loneliness, as giving more than you received, as settling for fragments when you were created for fullness, is reaching its end. Something new is being prepared with intention and patience, shaped by the same wisdom that has been shaping you. The one who will walk beside you is not an accident or a distraction, but someone who has also been refined by time, who understands pain without glorifying it, who carries scars without using them as justification to wound others. This connection will not be built on urgency or fear of being alone, but on peace. It will feel lighter than what you have known, not because it lacks depth, but because it lacks manipulation, control, and constant proving. You were never meant to carry love like a burden. You were meant to experience it as shelter, as a place where your breath deepens instead of shortens, where your presence is welcomed rather than tolerated. This kind of love does not demand that you shrink to fit it, it expands with you. Before this unfolds outwardly, something essential is being healed inwardly. Your soul learned, over time, to accept too little and to call it enough. You adjusted your expectations, convincing yourself that small gestures, sporadic attention, or partial presence were the best you could hope for. But you were not created for halves, for inconsistency, or for relationships that left you questioning your worth. You were formed for wholeness, for clarity, for bonds where respect is not negotiated and affection is not rationed. This inner recalibration is not punishment, it is preparation. You are learning to recognize what aligns with your true value and what does not, to discern between intensity and sincerity, between familiarity and safety. As this understanding settles, the patterns that once felt normal will lose their hold on you, and what once seemed unattainable will begin to feel natural. You are not becoming harder, you are becoming clearer. What has been fractured within families, friendships, and long-standing connections is also being addressed, even when you cannot see movement yet. The prayers you have carried for years, especially for those who seem distant or unreachable, have not dissolved into nothing. What looked like permanent hardness was never the final word, it was only the surface of a deeper process. Change often begins in ways that are invisible, quietly loosening what once seemed immovable. Forgiveness, especially the kind that costs you something, has a power that force never will. Your restraint, your decision not to retaliate, your willingness to love without controlling outcomes have already opened doors you did not know existed. Situations you believed were fixed will shift. Hearts you thought were closed will soften. And when it happens, you will recognize that the timing was not delayed, only deliberate. There is a kind of strength being formed in you that does not announce itself loudly. It is cultivated in silence, in moments of stillness where you resist the urge to fill the space with noise or distraction. These quiet intervals are not empty, they are fertile. It is there that clarity replaces confusion, that wounds begin to close without being forced, that guidance becomes easier to perceive. You are learning that not every answer arrives through effort or explanation, and that sometimes the most transformative insights come when you stop striving and simply listen. The calm you are practicing now is not withdrawal from life, it is alignment with it. From this place, your decisions will become more grounded, your reactions less reactive, your sense of direction steadier. What feels like waiting is actually integration, the stitching together of parts of you that were once fragmented by urgency and disappointment. As this inner restoration takes place, its effects will naturally extend beyond you. Your growing peace will influence your environment in subtle but undeniable ways. People will respond differently to you, not because you have changed who you are at your core, but because you are no longer leaking exhaustion or unmet longing. Your presence will feel steadier, more anchored, and that stability will invite healthier interactions. Reconciliation will become possible where tension once dominated. Conversations will soften. Understanding will replace defensiveness. What you receive in private, in the depths of reflection and healing, is not meant to remain contained. It will ripple outward, creating spaces of hope where there was resignation, and connection where there was distance. Even the nights you spent awake, rehearsing worries and whispering hopes into the dark, have not been wasted. They have been gathered, held, and are now being transformed into something meaningful. The patience you have practiced, especially when everything in you wanted to give up or force an outcome, has cultivated a quiet resilience. This strength is not brittle or aggressive, it is flexible, capable of holding joy without fear and disappointment without collapse. You no longer need to push doors open or exhaust yourself building bridges alone. The work that matters most, the alignment of hearts, the unfolding of timing, the orchestration of encounters, is already in motion. Your role is simpler and deeper, to remain open, to keep walking forward without rushing the process, to trust that even the ordinary days are carrying significance. What feels repetitive or uneventful is often where the most important foundations are laid, unseen but essential. Trust what is being shaped, even if you cannot yet see its full design. The progress you are making may not always be dramatic, but it is real. Unexpected messages, reconciliations you thought impossible, moments of tenderness where you expected indifference, these will begin to appear, not as coincidences, but as confirmations. Your heart, once guarded by necessity, is learning to feel again without fear. The warmth and calm you sense now are not fleeting impressions, they are signals of a deeper presence at work, steady and faithful. What has begun in you will reach completion. Nothing will remain untouched. And when you look back, you will understand that this chapter was not about loss or delay, but about preparation for a fullness you could not have carried before. My beloved child, that strange mixture of tears and smiles rising within you is not confusion, nor weakness, it is the gentle work of the Holy Spirit cleansing what words could never reach. Something ancient has begun to loosen its grip inside your chest. Weights you carried for years without knowing how heavy they were are being lifted one by one. Guilt for what did not work out, regret for trusting where you should not have, resentment hidden behind silence and learned indifference, all of it is being washed now by an anointing that heals from the inside out. This is why your breathing feels deeper, your sleep more peaceful, your thoughts quieter. You are beginning to remember without reliving the pain, because what once bled has begun to close. And where there is a scar, there is no longer agony, only testimony. I am not erasing your past, I am redeeming it. I am transforming pain into wisdom, loss into discernment, and wounds into strength. You will notice yourself speaking without the knot in your throat, standing without that invisible pressure on your chest, moving through your days with a softness that once felt impossible. This is not temporary relief, it is inner restoration taking root. As this healing deepens, everything around you will begin to shift without force or explanation. Your relationships will start reflecting the work I am doing within you. The right people will draw near naturally, without effort or fear. Those who no longer align with your healed heart will drift away quietly, without confrontation or pain. Even the atmosphere around you will feel lighter, because emotional healing cannot remain hidden. You will wake up one morning and realize you feel different, not euphoric, not dramatic, just lighter. You will smile without planning to. You will sense that something new is unfolding, even if you cannot yet name it. That quiet certainty is the signal that the process has already begun. Open your heart and listen carefully now, because love never abandoned you. It was waiting patiently for the right moment to return, and that moment has arrived. The love that approaches you now comes without chaos, without confusion, without fear. It does not knock violently, it enters gently, because it recognizes a heart that has been prepared. Soon, the prayer you whispered almost without faith will receive its answer. You will look at what unfolds and say in disbelief, "My God, it really happened." And I will answer you gently, "Yes, my child." I never stopped listening. Continue walking this path of trust. Transformation has already been released. Restoration is already active. Love is already on its way. The anointing that heals is in motion, and your story is being rewritten from the inside out. You have felt the shift already. Something has changed within you that cannot yet be fully explained, but your soul recognizes it. That constant weight is no longer the same. The sadness that once followed you like a shadow has lost its strength. The pain you thought was part of your identity is retreating. Heaven is working within your inner world. For a long time, you lived like someone walking with wounded feet, continuing forward despite the injury, smiling outwardly while something cried inside. But today I speak clearly to you. Your heart will no longer bleed in silence. I am restoring every broken place, even the ones you learned to ignore. You were taught to swallow everything, to be strong at all costs, to never show weakness, to endure quietly. Over time, that endurance hardened you. It formed a protective layer over your sensitivity, making you appear distant when in truth you were simply afraid of feeling everything again. But now I am touching precisely that place, with my love, my care, and my perfect timing, because I know exactly how far to go and how ready you are to be healed. I have never rushed your process, nor ignored your pain. I know the depth of your wounds and the strength of your spirit. This healing is not forceful, it is intentional. I am softening what was hardened, awakening what was dormant, and restoring what was neglected. You are not losing yourself in this process. You are finally returning to who you were before pain taught you to hide. Your emotions were dismissed by many. You were told you were exaggerating, being dramatic, too sensitive, too intense. You were advised to be more rational, more controlled, more resilient, yet no one saw the depth of your inner struggle. No one recognized the root of what you carried. But I saw it all. I saw every silent tear, every internal battle, every moment you felt unseen. And because I saw it, I alone can heal it completely. This work is not superficial or temporary. It is deep, eternal, and transformative. I am healing you within so that what I place in your life outwardly will last. This is why I am inviting you to recognize the transformation taking place. You are no longer seeking love to fill emptiness. You are becoming whole. The love that approaches you will not be a remedy for loneliness, but a partnership with completeness. No more emotional dependence. No more relationships built on need or fear. What comes next will be built on stability, clarity, and mutual respect. I am raising a new identity within you, one that allows you to look at another without losing yourself, to open your heart without falling apart, to love deeply without abandoning who you are. The love that approaches you is different. It will recognize your essence, respect your history, understand your silences, and honor your boundaries. It will not rush you or pressure you. It will feel safe, familiar, and peaceful. The one I am preparing to walk beside you has also faced their own battles. They understand healing because they have walked through it. And when two healed hearts meet, there is no imprisonment, only alliance. Before this unfolds, I want you to acknowledge what is already blooming inside you. This healing is invisible to others, but you feel it. You no longer react as you once did. You have begun forgiving what you believed was unforgivable. You can revisit the past without that crushing weight in your chest. That is freedom. Some emotional wounds acted like roots that strangled your present, influencing your relationships, your speech, and your ability to trust or withdraw. But now I am removing those roots one by one. Do not sabotage your happiness anymore. A part of you learned to settle for less out of fear, fear of dreaming too big, fear of disappointment. But that limited acceptance was never your destiny. I never wrote lack into your future. I never designed you for emotional scarcity. You were created for fullness, for connection without chains, for love without loss of self. What I am doing now will sustain what comes next. Walk forward with confidence. You are not late. You are not broken. You are being restored, and what awaits you will meet the healed version of you, not the wounded one. Those who observe your journey will not be able to deny that something greater has intervened. The season of constant pain is coming to an end. This does not mean life will become flawless, but it does mean you will no longer be fragile. You are developing an inner structure capable of withstanding highs and lows without collapsing. You are learning how to love without losing yourself, how to stay open without becoming unprotected. Discernment is growing in you, the ability to recognize what nurtures you and what slowly destroys you. You will no longer be driven by wounded emotions, but guided by restored faith. When love arrives, when reconciliation unfolds, when your family begins to flourish again, you will not cling desperately out of fear. You will stand grounded, secure, rooted. Healing is not just the absence of pain, it is the absence of fear that pain will return. Even now, as you walk forward unsure at times, this path is filled with purpose. Every step you take in trust, every choice to believe when logic hesitates, is shaping a character capable of sustaining what is coming. Do not underestimate what is being formed in the quiet. What feels like stillness is fertile ground. Deep roots are growing where no one can see them. Notice how your inner calm is beginning to influence your surroundings. Situations that once unsettled you now meet a steadiness within you. This is not passivity, it is strength refined through waiting. You are learning to live from a place of grace, where urgency no longer dictates your decisions, and from that place you will recognize the right time for every new beginning. You have fought against heavy words, ancient wounds, and inner voices that tried to convince you life was not worth the effort. Many times you did not understand why the weight felt heavier than your strength, why progress seemed to stall just as things began to improve. Yet none of it was wasted. Even when you felt immobilized, you were taking root. Even when you believed you were trapped, I was creating a way beneath your feet. I have seen every struggle and preserved its meaning. Now I am transforming your battles into wisdom and compassion that will strengthen others. Lift your eyes. The horizon is changing. The first signs of a new dawn are already coloring the sky of your life. What is emerging now will not fade, it will endure. With love, God. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.